Founder and CEO of Entrepreneur by Design, Wendy Fedoruk has built a business helping her fellow entrepreneurs succeed. Between 70% and some studies say over 90% of small businesses fail. But Wendy believes this failure rate could be greatly reduced because solopreneurs make the same mistakes. Wendy joins us on Biz 101 today to talk with us about how she helps small businesses of all types and the 4 mistakes most solopreneurs make. Hey Wendy, what's a solopreneur?
Hi. A solopreneur is basically an entrepreneur that mostly works alone. And I also like to call solopreneurs are very often first generation entrepreneurs. And that is entrepreneurs who are the first time of their lines of family to be doing all this crazy entrepreneur stuff that we like to do. So they're first timers.
So for you, what's your own story about how you got to being I guess you're a solopreneur yourself.
I am, that's correct. So my story started with real estate investing, actually. I invested in the United States, mostly Phoenix, Arizona, during the crash that we've seen in the US. I am a Canadian, so it was not normal. I didn't know anybody else who was investing in the United States during the crash because most Canadians were too afraid to do so. But I jumped in because I seen cash flow, really good cash flow compared to what I could get in Calgary, and definitely based on depreciation and equity growth.
So isn't it interesting, Wendy, that the crash that affected so many people in North America, around the world, and was so horrible in a lot of ways, turned out to be an opportunity for you?
That is very true, and it's hard to believe, isn't it? And at the very beginning, it was hard because the homes were really trashed, because people were angry and they were hurt. But over time, once a lot of the Americans realized this is happening to everybody, it's not just me, then the homes weren't quite so damaged. So it was quite an experience emotionally, not even just the business side of it.
Entrepreneur by design.
Yes. So when, as you say, things shifted, the market shifted, house prices went up, the Canadian dollar went down, the opportunity basically went away. But what I realized from that experience was that I loved to consult. And to mention, I did have an e-commerce store for a short while in between there, but that didn't work for me because there was no people involved really. It was me and this online store, right? So I learned a lot about digital marketing and online marketing during that experience, but I quickly sold it and then decided, now what's next? And then it was, I have a lot of business experience here. I have experience as an entrepreneur, as a consultant. Where should I go with this? And business consulting just came out of the blue one day, and I was like, this is where I'm gonna go. I got certified with the Canadian Coaches Federation, and I worked with a team of business coaches just to get my business coaching skills up to par. And then I was able to get a contract. So I'm an independent contracted consultant, and I got a contract with a large Canadian bank who I'm still with today, and I consult their small business clients for sales and marketing.
So you are dealing with mostly first-time entrepreneurs.
Correct.
And you can identify with them because that was you.
Exactly. They're startups or small businesses that are struggling. So a few of them have been in business for a few years, but they've realized they have forgot to learn a few things before they jumped into their business.
So your company specializes in online sales funnels, as an example of a technical term.
Right.
What's that?
Yes. So it's a type of lead generation. So all businesses need lead generation. There are multiple different types of ways you can bring in leads. The online sales funnels are basically, they're kind of new to the market in that everybody needs them now. They've been there for a long time, but it was mostly just online e-commerce that needed them, or your gurus that you see selling products online. But now even small businesses and retail stores need some funnels, some of the basic funnels. And what a funnel is, I'm just going to give you, because there's multiple funnels, but one example is an email opt-in funnel. So that is where a person would create something for free, something valuable, some of your knowledge. You can make it into an ebook or just into a guide, and then that you offer that for free online in exchange for an email address.
So you're a online primarily sales and marketing expert?
Well, I'm both offline and online. So I can't say I'm an online expert because that is a very, very technical area with like when you're doing Facebook ads, you got to know Facebook inside and out. If you're doing AdWord, like Google AdWord ads, you got to know that inside and out. And you also have to be able to hook together all the technology. So, you know, you have to hook it up to the ad and then hook it to your email or hook it to your website. So there's a lot of tech in that. I just know the basics of all the different types of marketing that small businesses can do. And then we go through it all and figure out what's best for their business.
And so you're really teaching them how to fish, so to speak, instead of giving them fish.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. I teach them. I don't do it for them. I teach them how to do it.
So Wendy, apparently you're going to tell me the 4 things that businesses almost always get wrong.
Okay, so number 1, as we touched on a little bit, is just not getting the proper education. So jumping into a business too quick, not learning all of the 5 components of a small business, not learning exactly how to do sales and marketing, or learning enough about it so that they know how they can hire out and not waste their money.
Right.
The other one is wearing all the hats in the business. So many small business owners will try to do it all to save money and whatnot in the beginning, and they just can't do it, and they get overwhelmed, and they end up just saying, I've had enough. I would say the third one is getting stuck in your old ways. So if you've been in business for a while, just kind of being resistant to learning the new ways. And
things are changing.
They are,
I've
aren't
kind
they?
of noticed that. Ouch.
And they're changing so quickly, right? So you have to be on top of it all the time. And the fourth one would just be not testing and measuring. So if a company has got some systems in place, and often a lot of them won't even have systems in place, they won't have policies and procedures written up and things like that. So just not tracking and measuring and seeing that the efforts that they are making, if they're working or if they're not.
Wendy, entrepreneur by design. Entrepreneur my whole life. I learned a lot in this little segment.
Well,
Thank you
I'm
so much
glad
for
you
coming
did.
on Biz 101.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Yeah.